Hello, and welcome to Awake and Ink. My name is Colin, and this is a recording of my journey as an inspiring artist. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. So today, something really difficult happened to me. I broke someone's heart for the last time. I divorced my wife of 6 years, and seeing her in such pain, it never really hit me that I could have the capacity to do something like that to someone. But when I saw her crying, I knew, she wasn't faking it. Like, that was real. And I decided, no, I don't ever want to do that to another person ever again. Then that night, when I got home, I had to talk to someone about it. So I called up my artist friend and I told him, today I got divorced and we're no longer together. But his response was very surprising, because his response was like, oh my God, like, I thought you guys had already been divorced like months ago, because of what I had done in the time between it. Since we were separated, I had moved out, got my own place, and just basically lived my life as if we had already been divorced. It just was not on paper. So he had no idea, but the thing that really blew my mind was that what I was expecting from him. I was expecting him to say, everything's fine. Don't worry, like, you'll find someone new. Things will get better. Like, this is what I was expecting here. But instead, he was just like blown away. He's like, oh my gosh, like, I thought you were divorced so long ago because of all of the things that have happened, all of the changes that you've been through. I would have thought, it was already over. And it made me really think about all the things that had happened in that time. And I realized, like, yeah, like, I've changed. Everything has changed in my life. Something about just deciding on a path and just going with it. Just doing it because that was the path that you decided. Once you decide to go a path and you don't look back, everything kind of revolves around your decision. Whereas if you doubt yourself, whenever you change your mind or doubt yourself, then you don't really go anywhere. There's nothing that really happens to help you because you don't know where you're going. So how is it that the universe is going to know what to do? But because I had set this path and I said, this is what I'm doing, I have to do this, I have to do that, and everything just kind of works around you to get you there. Now, this path that I'm on now, it's not as if I abandoned my family and all that. Like, no, they're still just as much a part of my life. But my life is completely different. Totally different. And like I said, like, I'm still have a wonderful relationship with my ex. I still take care of my kids. They have no idea what's going on. They're so young. But, I just make sure they're happy. And that's all I would have done anyways. If anything, they're happier now than before because their father's happy. So, my friend, seeing all of this, it made us realize, like, this secret to life Like, it's a real thing. So let me tell you what happened. Before I got my own place, it was decided that my friend and I, we would get an apartment together. The idea was we would both live together, and then we'd have this like living area. This would be our studio. And it was a great idea. And I was like, yeah, let's do that. But at the last minute, he bailed out. He's got his own thing going on. He's with some girl, and he just didn't feel comfortable. He was scared because basically, she takes care of everything he needs. He doesn't even have to work if he doesn't want to. But if he had decided to move out with me, he would basically he'd have to man up. You gotta pay your part. And at first he was like all for it. He's like, yeah, I can do this. And at the very end, he said, no, I can't do it. It's too hard. But for me, I had already set in stone. I said, this is happening. I'm getting this studio. And I did it. I said, okay, you're out. Well, I'm still getting the studio. And that's what I ended up getting. I got this nice place, has this big area, living area where, we can get our work done. And I think when he saw all that, he realized, like, I made a decision, and I went with it, and I worked towards it, and before you know it, I have it. So he saw that and realized, like, oh man, like, I could have been a part of that, If I didn't let the fear get to me, this would be a very different situation. I wouldn't be living here by myself having a studio. It would be, we could just work on our stuff whenever we wanted, just be right next to each other. But it was also, I think, for him, a good lesson. So maybe it just had to happen that way. Like, he had to see it for himself in order to realize, like, oh, okay. Because what ended up happening was he ended up coming over here and doing work, and we ended up using it as a studio anyway. So, and he's getting his own place. So it's like the same thing, but now instead of living right next door to me, like the next room over, you're like, what, like half an hour away? Like, what is that? Like, it's the same thing. It's just completely different. So I guess what I want to say is, in our lives, we have these choices that come up, and we think, if I go this way, oh, it's going to be completely different. And if I go this way, oh, I might die or something like this. Like it's always like either one is like the best choice ever or one is like the worst choice ever. There's no in between. And what I came to realize is, like, no, they all kind of lead to the same path. Like, you think there's a choice. You think, like, oh, this would be better. It's just different. It's not like one is, there's usually one that's a better option than the other, but it's not like life or death. Like, it's more like they actually just kind of end up in the same place. It's just one is usually a little bit better. And what I came to realize is the one that's better is the harder choice. When it's easy, I don't know, I feel like there's just, it feels wrong almost, The one that you think is the easiest, it just, for me, I've always found like it's usually the wrong path. Like, for example, like, I could get out of a lot of situations just by lying, just a little lie, But the hard thing for me is just to be honest. What I found was when I do the hard thing, when I'm just honest, the result is so much better. So I think the idea is, when you have these choices, and if the only thing that's stopping you is fear, just throw the fear away and see which one's the better choice then, You'll find that, yeah, the hard one, the hard choice is really actually the better choice. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but there's always a better choice. So if it feels too easy, just really think about that choice, like, is it really the one that's going to bring you what you want? Okay, so yeah, it was a really hard day for me. I mean, I know I sound very happy and everything, but as happy as I am, I'm very sad that things have to happen this way. But I accept it, And I know in the end, everyone will be better off. Okay. I wish you the best on your journey. I love you all. Colin out.